In March of 2023, I started learning the vocabulary to make sense of my culture and environments, how I fit in between the natural world and human-made identities. At first glance, nature and culture seemed opposite. The natural world isn't a consequence of human activity, and on the other hand, culture often develops against nature. But at the same time, human culture influences nature and vice versa. Ecology isn't limited to the natural physical environment, but also the cultural environment created by us. Yet, the question remains, how can I and my identity as a designer make the dichotomy of culture and nature more dichotomized? To understand this better, we studied Marshall McLuhan's concepts. He says, if the new environment is invisible, it does serve to make very visible the preceding environment. I know it sounds complicated, let me explain. For example, I enjoy looking at antique furniture and photographing them. The motifs, the carving, the filigree, so intricate. Thrift shopping antiques has also become quite a trend these days. It is a new medium for appreciating a vintage lifestyle. But this medium is subconscious to me, while at the same time it makes beautiful old furniture timeless. Social photography serves as an invisible environment to document antiquity as the visible environment. This concept really stuck with me. I could say it reframed my perception about perceptions. When we were asked to make a poster relating to McLuhan's concepts, I thought about how we humans have been the catalyst for evolution in environments. There's a pattern to this change. Whatever was inspired in the past, in turn, inspires the future. And here we are, just capturing it all through our bodies and minds and hopefully our souls. Our frame of perception relies on the mediums we interact with, aka. When it finally stopped raining ice in Berlin, we ventured out, a whole 600 meters away, to Potsdamer Platz. Our assignment was to observe the affordances of Potsdamer Platz as the environment. We had to interpret and represent whatever the environment offers to individuals, creatures, institutions. Of course, any central part of the city with train stations, offices, restaurants, and parks, they offer us a good amount of ways to use the environment. Connectivity, sanitation, protection, direction, walking, talking, walking while talking, and sure, jaywalking. But I was looking to attach more meaning to it, try to see things that maybe an average commuter wouldn't. And maybe then, my role as a designer wouldn't be a complete fail. The affordances assignment made me think about two things in particular. The way I use my environments and the way I like to frame my use of environments. Before I started working as a full-time designer, I thought I had no knowledge about art or design. There's a subconscious part in all of us that can still decode visual language. It is so viscous or stuck to our brains that we barely notice it running. The reason being, the massive amounts of design that we have already perceived prior to being designers. All the cultural knowledge that has been put into stuff so that it survives time, we have absorbed it through all of our senses. It's almost as if we have been collecting knowledge our whole lives, and now we just have to put it into use. Maybe learn some typography, some technology, marinate the content with some metaphors, and we're all set. And people, like objects, are layered in their affordances. Maybe my old environment afforded me to be an engineer, but today, you can use me as a designer. Speaking of metaphors, in our typography assignments, I tried to attach meaning to the outcome once again. Because how text is placed or broken into paragraphs plays a big role in how we understand the text. Do I need to get married or find a new direction? Oh, maybe I just need a new hat. An ascender, if you will. The striking thing about typography to me lies in its evolution. Moving typesets to printing press, sign writing to decorative typefaces, serifs to sans serifs. Again, the new media turned old media into artifacts. Yet, it is not so easy to erase old media, old cultures, and old systems. They seep into the new and they become visible in their own big or little ways. This phenomenon of something being reused or altered, but still bearing visible traces of its earlier form, tingled my brain in the nicest way possible. Palimpsest. If you think about it, everything is a palimpsest. My phone, your laptop, our classroom, Potsdamer Platz, and even me. Designers in the past have left traces for us to pick up on, and now it is our turn to make new meanings for the future.